video on how I chose specific programs to apply for, what's the criteria that I used, how I decided on which program to finally attend. So if you're interested, keep it playing. I actually have a blog post on the content of this video, so if you're more inclined to kind of reading, you can definitely go there. I'll link it at the bottom of this video for you. So let's get into it. These are the criteria that I picked out, and from there I was able to choose specific programs. My number one thing was location. So super spoiled here in LA, Southern California. I wanted to stay here because my family was here, my boyfriend is here. I just did not want to move, and we're really lucky to have a lot of programs in this area. So number one thing was location for me. The second thing was program prerequisites. So I didn't take OChem because I did poorly in chemistry, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do OChem and biochem, I'm just gonna fail. So let's not fail and just retake my C's and get on with it. So I didn't take OChem. I didn't finish the physics series. I took one physics class. I actually got a pretty good grade. I got a B. It wasn't required to graduate for my major. So I just didn't take OChem or physics. I didn't take biochem either. I just took the bare basics, bare minimum requirements to graduate. And so because I didn't have those classes, that limited my pool of schools to a very small amount. A lot of the East Coast schools just didn't, I was unapplicable for, essentially. So that was a huge thing. Also, what was really important to me was the school's reputation, their legacy, how long they've been around, their pass rates, whether their program curriculum actually worked or not, and also their accreditation. So there is continuing, provisional, and probationary. I strayed away from the probationary ones. I don't really know kind of what they did to get on probation, but that just kind of scared me. I went for all the provisionals and all of the continuing ones. So what that means is that they get checked up upon every couple of years, and if they pass that checkup, the programs get continuing accreditation. If they're newer, they're brand new programs, they get provisional. So their first class has not passed the PANCE yet, so they're kind of provisional accreditation. Probationary, something happened during their checkup, so they're on probation now. So I only applied to the provisional and the continuing ones. What was really important to me was the program's emphasis or their mission statement, whether they focused on underserved populations, whether it was primary care focused. Those were important to me, as well as the length of the program. I know there are 2 to 3 year programs. The 3-year ones sometimes have a dual master's, most likely Masters of Public Health. So I did look into that too. So the length of the program was a thing for me as well. Another thing was where the rotations are, where the clinical rotations are. Because I looked ahead, I thought about, okay, these are my clinical rotations. These are possible job interviews, right? So you are there for a month, you're working very closely with the PA, with the staff members, with the director there. So it's like pretty much a month-long job interview. So I was like, okay, it's very important to look into where these programs are affiliated with, whether it's with certain clinics, certain hospitals. I was like, okay, I really want to work at XYZ hospital. So let me see about this program that has students go there for clinical rotations. So if you do a little research, you can definitely find out where they go for rotations. That was another huge thing for me. Another criteria was GPA. So mine wasn't the hottest. It was 3.1 or 3.3, my last kind of application cycle. So I definitely looked at schools that had either that as a requirement or lower. It's very tricky though, because they say on the website oh, 2.9, that's all you need. But then the previous class that gets accepted is 3.5, and I'm like, wait, this is very deceiving. So double check, read the requirements. Also look at the previous class, what was accepted, what their hours were, what their GPA was. Look at that and then kind of see where you fall into that. Because then that would really kind of save the disappointment when your application just doesn't go through to that school. So that's kind of like the list and the criteria that I applied to all these programs and see which ones fit me better. And so you can do that for yourself too. What's important to you, make that your first priority. If it's location, make that your first priority. If it's price, that's fine too. I know that some programs have in-state versus out-of-state tuition. Honestly, now that I'm out of school, debt is debt. It's gonna be there. If you're in between actually this is a really great kind of predicament to be in. If you're in between two schools and you're trying to figure out what's what, go with your heart, go with your gut. I know it's very cliche, but I was like, oh man, I really want a dual master's up in Vallejo. But I was like, but I really want to just be done in 2 years. And so Western was that school for me. And plus I've had personal experiences with Western UPAs, and I was like, all right, I gotta go to Western, even though those two schools are just amazing. They're like neck and neck. So if you're in that awesome predicament, go with your gut. What's more important to you? What do you value most? Make that your first priority, and then kind of dwindle it down from there. These are kind of the things I thought about. These are the specific criteria that I had in mind when I was picking programs to apply for. Trust your gut. What's your priority? Make that the first kind of thing for yourself, and then choose accordingly. You can also ask people for their experiences through kind of Instagram. If you have a student that goes to the program that you want to go to, send them a DM. I'm sure they'll be happy to kind of talk to you about it, and get your kind of networking on. Talk to PAs that have been there, and just do your best research. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully this was informative. If you haven't already, subscribe, because I'm going to be coming out with so many more videos for you guys, because it's quarantine and stay-at-home orders are still in effect. So I hope you guys are staying safe out there, being healthy, and I'll catch you on the next one.